Alrighty, so today we're going to be setting the valve clearance on this 1974 Honda CB360. Setting the valve clearance is a very important part of this bike. If you got it messed up, that thing's not going to run right. So, some tools you need for the job. Screwdriver. If you can get a JIS tip screwdriver, all the screws on here are Japanese industry standard tips. Phillips head is more likely to strip it, so you can get your hands on one of those. That's great to have. You're going to need a 14 millimeter. You can use a socket. You can use really any kind of wrench. That's for rotating your engine under your stator cover there. Next, you're going to need a 17 millimeter for removing the heads or the covers on the valves there. Next, for making the adjustment, you're going to need a 10 millimeter wrench. Now, if you can get your hands on one of these little offset wrenches, it's going to make it so much easier to get in that little awkward angle. And you're also going to need your flathead bit on your screwdriver. Finally, you're going to need yourself a set of feeler gauges. You're going to need the 0.002 inches and 0.003. That's 0.05 and 0.08 millimeters respectively. So, the first step here is going to remove your alternator, your stator cover, and we're going to start on our left cylinder. So we're going to remove both these covers here. There should be a 17 millimeter. It shouldn't be on there too tight. Now, the second step, you're going to want to look in this little intake valve, and you're going to rotate your engine around by hand. And you're going to look for this valve to go all the way down and then come all the way back up. And when it comes back up, your little LF and LT marks, they should be around the so about 4 or 5 o'clock position or so. And you're going to want to rotate until that LT mark hits this index mark. Now your engine is going to be on compression, and the piston, your left piston is going to be top dead center, which is when you can do the adjustment on the valves here. Okay, so our next step, you're going to need your feeler gauge, 2 of them. You're going to need, you can't really see it, 0.02 inches and a 0.003 inches, which is a 0.05 millimeter, and I think it's 0.08 millimeter. Mine's a little worn off there. I just took these out of my set there. They got that little hole in them. I just took them out. You're going to need them out. You're going to need that reach there. So, this is your intake side where the air comes in. The clearance on this valve, I don't know if you can hear it, but it'll have a little bit of play. It should be 0.002 inches. So, you're going to come down here. A lot easier if you have somebody to help hold this here. You're going to rotate LT until we're stuck right on that mark. Then you're going to take your feeler gauge, stick it up here. Okay, so we're going to come up here to make our adjustment when we have our engine in the correct spot. We take our feeler gauge there, 0.002 for the intake side, and you're going to stick it between this little arm here and the little head there of the valve, or the piston or whatever. And then to make the adjustment, you're going to loosen this lock nut up, and then it'll be free, this little bit down there, this little flathead. You turn it out, you'll get a bigger gap. You turn it in, you'll get a tighter gap. Alrighty, so we're propped in quite the precarious position here, but you can see our mark is lined up there. Should be good. Yep. So we're up here with our gauge. We got her set, and you can hear that. Slight resistance is all you're looking for there. You see it going in. Now all we gotta do is lock that down. This is a very important part. Gonna make sure you have your wrench, your 10mm for that lock nut, and then you're gonna take your bit there. Inside, you get this little guy, stick it in the head of that little adjuster there. It's not gonna move with the screwdriver here. And you're just gonna tighten her up, and then your valve will be set. So, as you can see, it's not really a difficult process, but there's some things you have to get right, just like the engine position. Now, getting one of these offset wrenches like this is really gonna help you out to really get in there at that awkward angle. Now, getting these guys locked down really tight is very important. You do not want these coming loose at all while you're riding. So just repeat steps. The exhaust side to the left, then you move on to your right.
Just have to check it out.
Okay, so move after you finish these left two, you can move on to your right cylinder. Really the same exact thing. You're on your LT mark, where you were for your left one. You're gonna take the engine and you're gonna rotate it 180 degrees around. You just draw a line. It's gonna be right there. It should be right about here. You're not gonna rotate past that. You're gonna look for the T mark. LT means left top, and T is just top for the right cylinder. So you're gonna rotate that all the way around. It's not going to slip past you like the left cylinder is. So you're gonna line that guy up and do the same as you did for here on the right tappets, and you should be good to go. Get these guys locked down, your covers locked down. They don't need too much, and that's really all you need to do. Alrighty, so now all your valves are set. As you saw, it's really not a complicated process. Just have to make sure you get the 3 or 4 things exactly right, and then the adjustment should be good to go. A couple things to remember: make sure you get that LT and T mark lined up perfectly. You gotta have those pistons at the clear top for these valves to be adjusted. Second, getting one of those offset wrenches is gonna make this job infinitely easier. Third, really make sure you're locking those guys down, getting that screwdriver stuck through the hole so your valve's not moving. Yeah, that's really about it. I hope you guys can learn to set your valves now.